Hello everyone, it's me, your boy Derek or Matthew, or whatever else you want to call me, and today I wanted to update my Oscars predictions for next year's Best Picture nominees because I might be totally wrong in my initial prediction. Last time I shared my predictions, it was right when In the Heights came out, so it was like right when In the Heights was supposed to be a Best Picture like front runner, but you know, that's not the case anymore. And I thought this might be the best time to do another update on my predictions because Dune is coming out this week, and I feel like Dune is a pretty big one to consider as a Best Picture nominee, so why not a more fitting time? So the structure of this video will follow the same as last time. I'll have 5 shortlisted ones, and then I'll have 10 nominees that I think are more likely to get in. I will order them in the way I think that they are more likely to get nominated, so 1 I think is most likely, and then 15 will be least likely. First of all, I want to do a little quick speed round to examine what got cut from my previous predictions and why that is. So for my 5 shortlisted last time, 4 of them got cut. I love Coda, don't get me wrong, but it just does not feel like a Best Picture nominee to me, unfortunately. It doesn't have that kind of tone that the Academy normally goes for. The French Dispatch doesn't seem to be particularly loved by many people, but you know, it still looks good. I watched The Green Knight, I didn't like it. And that's just my opinion. I'm not too much of a fan of period pieces, especially medieval period pieces, so... Now, out of my top 10 predictions from last time, 6 of them, right? 5 of them are no longer on this list, so let's do a speed round of those as well. Canterbury Glass, aka the David O. Russell film that is untitled, is not even coming out this year. I was very hopeful putting Eternals on the list last time, so yeah, I still have hope for it, but it's not as strong this time. We all know how In the Heights turned out. Next Gold Wins doesn't even come out this year either, and then Soggy Bottom doesn't even exist anymore, but I'll get back to that one later. Okay, now that we've covered all the ones that I've decided to cut, here we'll start with the 5 shortlisted ones, and at number 15 I have Cyrano, I don't really know how to pronounce it. It's an adapted storyline that I think that's been adapted many times. The lead is Peter Dinklage, and I've heard really good things about him and his portrayal of the character before. I believe he's played the character on stage actually, and I do have a lot of hope for Peter Dinklage as a Best Lead Actor nominee. I feel like this could be a real surprise hit. I don't know, the trailer looked alright. I wasn't too thrilled by it, but I wasn't disappointed at all. The only thing I feel like that's holding me back from putting this in my top 10 is that it doesn't feel as great in scale, and it also is an original musical, which I don't know how well that would fare. I mean, of course there's La La Land that fared really well at the Oscars the last time it was nominated, but I just don't know about this one. Now at number 14 I have Tick Tick Boom, and I just feel like there's something really special about this film that I can't quite place my finger on yet. Andrew Garfield looks to be a fantastic leading actor. I didn't even know he could sing. I would love if Robin DeJesus and Vanessa Hudgens both got nominated for Oscars for their roles in here, but I highly doubt that will happen. I'm honestly a little concerned for this just because it is Lin-Manuel Miranda's first time directing a movie, and also I just feel like Netflix will prioritize their other movies over this one, and I'll get to those other movies later. But yeah, I just don't know if this is really on Netflix's like priority list in order to push out for Oscar campaigns as much. Now at number 13 I have another Netflix movie, which is Passing, which I also don't know if Netflix will prioritize this one over their other movies as well. Passing, the trailer looked amazing, and I'm actually really excited for it to come out. I think it's an interesting screenplay and I would love to see how it plays out, but I just haven't heard as much buzz for the movie as I would hope for. This one seemed to come out of nowhere and no one really had faith in it until that trailer came out. But hopefully the more closer we get to that release date, the more hype it gets. At number 12, I have The Human. The Humans, based off of the Broadway play of the same name. I hear it has an amazing script, which I would love to see on the big screen. The cast sounds fantastic, from Steven Yeun to Beanie Feldstein, and I'm honestly really hopeful for Amy Schumer as well. My only concern with this film is that I hear rumors that this might be more of an Emmy nominee rather than an Oscar nominee, which is confusing. I don't know how the process works. If someone would like to explain it to me, I would love to hear it. But that's where I'm getting a little confused on why this one has been fluctuating between the 2 awards. And at number 11, the final one on my short list is Dune. I feel like almost every single person is putting Dune on their top 10 list for most likely to get that Best Picture nomination, except for me. Honestly, I would not have even included it in my shortlist if it weren't for so many other people doing it. I'm kind of on that anti-Dune train, unfortunately. I just don't really like sci-fi like that, and it's like weird sci-fi, if you get what I mean. It's a little too much for me. You know, I am incredibly biased. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of this movie. I mean, I think Dune has a really good chance of actually getting nominated, but I can't, there's no way I could do that to my soul by putting Dune in my top 10. Dune hasn't even come out yet, and I already hate it. I don't know why. I just have a thing against it. But you know what? If it does get nominated, I can't hate it. I can't. That's just the way the world works. And if it's not my particular thing, then it's someone else's thing. Let it be their thing. Okay, now let's move on into my actual top 10 that I think are more likely to get nominated. And I could be completely wrong, but these are the 10 that I have lined up for now. At number 10, I have the HBO Max / theatrical dual release, King Richard. I feel like this is Warner Brothers' strongest play this year, especially with a lead actor like Will Smith, who apparently does a phenomenal job in this movie. I'm excited to watch it. Honestly, the only reason why it's so low on here is because this one came out of nowhere. I'm not too convinced as to why everyone seems to be predicting this higher and higher, but I mean, I understand it. I have a lot of hope. I think Will Smith has the capability to carry this movie to a Best Picture nomination. I think with the Oscars guaranteeing that there will be 10 Best Picture nominees this year, then it is a given that there will be movies like this to come in, where they don't feel like winners, but they feel really nice as nominees, if you get what I mean. And my number 9 option is kind of the exact same as King Richard, in the sense that they both just came out of nowhere and they have a best lead actor / actress to lead the charge in that Best Picture nomination. So my number 9 prediction is Spencer. Again, this movie came out of nowhere for me, but I hear Kristen Stewart does a stellar job as Princess Diana. For Spencer, the trailer looks amazing, the cinematography looks great, the production design amazing. I'm just worried whether this will be more like the Emmy-nominated series The Crown, or will it be like the flop that is Diana the Musical. At my number 8 spot, I have West Side Story, because Disney needed to get something in there. West Side Story I've been fluctuating with for literal months. I don't know how to feel about this one, but I have a lot of faith in Steven Spielberg to deliver, and that those trailers, they honestly look very good. It is an adaptation of a previous Best Picture winner, so I assume that Steven Spielberg needs to do enough to make it different from that original version. This may have been the year of musicals, but so far they haven't been delivering too well after In the Heights and Dear Evan Hansen. I don't know what's going to happen. I do have a lot of faith in this movie to do well, and I think that I will genuinely like it. But the only thing that I fear that will hold it back is Ansel Elgort. The movie that I think is 7th most likely to get a Best Picture nomination is Ridley Scott's House of Gucci. For some reason, there is an anti-House of Gucci campaign going on that I am not in the loop on. And it might be because of all the people who are pro The Last Duel, but I just don't get it. I have a lot of faith in Lady Gaga to deliver a performance that will be talked about for ages to come. But the rest of the cast seems to be going under fire for their Italian accents. And I do hear that the movie's runtime might be a little over 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours long, which is difficult for many people to sit through. Either way, I love the trailer for this movie. It just seems to be very divisive, and who knows, it hasn't come out yet. I don't think anyone's seen it. So we'll just have to wait to see what happens. Now at number 6, I have Don't Look Up, the Netflix original movie by Adam McKay, I believe. I might be wrong. This is the only non-period piece in the bunch, and it also is one of the only I think maybe the only comedy to be nominated, or hopefully nominated. The cast is outstanding for this movie. Like, you have Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Ariana Grande, more and more people. But comedies don't seem to normally get nominated for Best Picture. I can't think of any recent comedies. I mean, La La Land was technically a musical / comedy. Some people argue Parasite is a comedy, but I don't know. There was a clip from the movie that was released of a scene between like Leonardo and Jennifer Lawrence, and then Meryl Streep and Jonah Hill that went around, and it was like the four of them having a conversation together about, I guess, Armageddon, the end of the world. And the editing just felt weird and really jumpy and clippy and like moving all over the place, and like I don't know, some people seem to be really turned off by it. I mean, I didn't mind it too much, but it just wasn't their taste. So there might be a little bit of a disruption there. I know a lot of people have seen this trailer and are excited for the movie, which is rare to see for an awards bait movie like this one. But I do know a lot of people who are confused about what's going on in the trailer, and they don't really get it. And honestly, I might be one of them. I get that it's an end of the world situation. I don't know. We'll see what happens. For my fifth spot of who I think is more likely to get a nomination for Best Picture at the Oscars next year is The Tragedy of Macbeth, the Apple TV Plus released movie. Starring Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand, I find it very difficult to see how this movie can fail. From what we've seen in the trailer, the cinematography looks amazing. I worry that this will be a little too similar to The Green Knight, in that it is not really my taste just because of how weird and wacky it is. I don't know if wacky is the right word. I don't know. It might be a little too much for me. It seems extremely dark and very much a period piece, but we'll see how that turns out. I just wonder if William Shakespeare is going to get an Oscar this year. Now in my fourth place, I have Nightmare Alley. And last time I predicted the Oscar Best Picture nominations, I said that Nightmare Alley was in my shortlist, and I put it there because I worried that it might be like another Crimson Peak, and I feel very wrong saying that now. Now that the trailers come out, I do have a lot more faith in the movie, and I think Bradley Cooper can really deliver. I don't know the original movie too well, so I'm going in completely blind. I gotta be honest, the trailer did confuse me a little bit, but I love the cinematography. But since Disney feels extremely confident in this movie's award success, then I feel extremely confident about its award success. They got Nomadland last year, they got Nightmare Alley this year. They both start with N's. Who knows? They both could win. Now my top three, I think all three of them are kind of guaranteed to get it. So number three, I have Licorice Pizza, of course previously known as Soggy Bottom. First of all, Licorice Pizza, better name, still very gross, but a better name. The trailer looked amazing. I have so much faith in Paul Thomas Anderson, especially because of Phantom Thread. Love Phantom Thread, so hopefully I'll like this one a lot too. I haven't seen any of Paul Thomas Anderson's other movies though, unfortunately. Now at number two, we have a controversial pick, which is Belfast. This is another black and white feature that I think has almost a guaranteed nomination. Some other black and white movies that have been nominated in recent years have been The Artist and most recently Mank, which I didn't like. I didn't like either actually. I've sensed a lot of bitterness from film Twitter over this movie. They just don't really seem to like it and mainly use the excuse that it is a crowd pleaser. As for the director Kenneth Branagh, I do hope that this is more in line with Murder on the Orient Express, a movie that I like, rather than Artemis Fowl, a movie that I really don't like. And my number one spot at who I think is kind of guaranteed to get a Best Picture nomination, maybe even a win, is Jane Campion's Netflix movie, The Power of the Dog. Benedict Cumberbatch is here as the lead, and I heard that he does a wonderful job. I do worry though that since it is set in the West, if he's going to have a country accent, and it might start sounding like Daniel Craig's Foghorn Leghorn Knives Out situation. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Westerns like at all. But I think it'd be really silly if Nomadland and Power of the Dog, since they're both technically Westerns, both won back to back. This will definitely be Netflix's number one priority to get nominated this year. And those are my updated predictions for next year's Best Picture Oscar nominees. I could be totally wrong, but I also could be almost exactly right. I hope I'm exactly right. Oh, actually no, I kind of hope that Eternals gets in over something else in there. But if you want, let me know in the comments what you think will get nominated. Let me know if you disagree with any of my opinions. You might probably disagree with Dune. But other than that, I'll see you all next time, whenever next time is.